Welcome to Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports, where husky middle-aged men share insight on the latest Baltimore sports news. From the bank to the yard and beyond, we're breaking down the Ravens, Orioles, Terps, and more. Baltimore's best sports podcast starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports. Jason, John, and Mike together once again. And as always, at least during the seasons, we have awesome looking Santa. Because no one in my house will let Beach Santa anywhere except in my office. So Beach Santa stays here. My daughter says, Beach Santa does not, because I have one that's a blow up that goes outside. He's not allowed to go outside this year because apparently it doesn't bring the seasons. I disagree. One of the biggest things about wanting to move to Florida was the warm weather during the holidays, Mike. So all this nonsense and taking me down from not having Santa out in the public really pisses on him.
When can you start celebrating? So like we talk about music and when you can start playing Christmas music, and usually we say it's like, right after Thanksgiving. But Thanksgiving is like the 28th or 29th. It's so late this year. Like we've even slipped with that rule when we started to let our kids, play some music and things like that. But like we don't have any type of Santa out right at our house quite yet.
There are no rules, Mike. There are no rules. I don't care what the people say. Like the people, I mean, there could be chaos. It's fine. Like I got a Christmas tree over here. I got Santa over here. The whole house is done up in Christmas already. The only thing I'm not doing is the outside yet for the next week or two. So as far as I'm concerned, let it be Christmas. The last time I did it early was like crazy early was during COVID because there was nothing else to do. So why not just be Christmas until, from September until July?
Yes.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I would say is you being in Florida, do you guys put up Christmas lights?
Not this year, but we will. I mean, yes, but not like the whole house or anything like that.
So like when you go up and it's 20 degrees and you have those little plastic clasps that hook the light to the gutter and all that kind of stuff, and you just break one of those onto your finger and it's like 20 degrees and it feels like your finger's falling off. It's not a great feeling. So that would be a pro of trying to start Christmas a little earlier in November when it's still 40 or 50 degrees and getting those lights up. So I was thinking about it the other day.
Yeah, or like if you're using a hammer, John, and you're like trying to nail those little nails in to get the lights to hang up and you just smash the living crap out of your hand. Been there.
Yeah, at least here, like you're not putting Christmas lights up. Like my dad puts Christmas lights up in like August because it's too cold in Minnesota. So he puts them up on the tree and on the house and stuff like in August or September. So you're not like frozen to the tree or the gutters. So and I know people who leave them up there all year round. But then down here it's so funny because you see a guy on the roof with no shirt on, putting his Christmas lights up and doing the Clark Griswold and making sure everything's working, and it's nice. I enjoy seeing the Christmas lights down here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say though, like going back to your Minnesota comment, I feel like it would be a health hazard if you didn't do it before the winter because. Forget about if they're sticking to the things. Like, I think you're taking your life in your hands if you're going up on a ladder, Mike, and freaking sub 20 degree or whatever the hell is out there.
Yeah,
That's insane.
John, my question is more along the lines of, do you put them up, do you turn them on, or do you just keep them up and keep them up? Because I can't imagine your dad allowing the electric bill for 4 months to be what it would be with those lights on.
Yeah, no. He'll put them on like a timer thing that will he'll plug it, just unplug it, or he'll plug it in, and then the timer thing will start on a certain day. And they don't use colored lights at their house. They only do really white lights, and he does the trees and those sorts of things. What's funny is like sometimes you won't take them down until May. Because you won't even see the cords that you laid down because it'll snow in November and the snow won't melt until May. So, you got to get that stuff kind of done, and that's why I don't live there anymore.
Oh man, that just sounds terrible. It sounds like like the United States version of Siberia. It just sounds terrible.
Oh, it
I
is.
don't get
It's
it.
awful.
Oh,
Awful.
You're making
all
me feel
right.
warm here in Baltimore.
Yeah, no
That's all I know.
kidding. Or you can just open my door and it's about 80. It's pretty sweet. Big fan. All right. So we digress temporarily. Big weekend of football as the week 11 is almost in the books. The Cowboys are currently stomping away on the Raiders. I need Dak Prescott to score another 24 points just to tie Mike Frisky in this week's fantasy for the sucky, sucky um, participants of the Listener League as the bottom three participants.
And I'm
For
beating the number
324.
2 team this week.
Yes, John, blind
Because,
squirrels find nuts every once in a
yeah,
while.
well, when he has Justin Herbert with, I think, 4 points total, that really helped. And I had 2
Dude,
receivers with over 30. So,
so that's nothing compared to. So I'm in a super flex league that I've been doing very well with. I had lost Lamar for a couple weeks. Like I had the number 2 pick, so I went with Lamar. I also picked up Jackson Dart, and I have Justin Herbert. So those are my 3 quarterbacks in Superflex. And for those of you that don't know, you can start 2 quarterbacks in that position, that other Superflex position, or any other position, receiver, tight end, running back, whatever. Obviously, quarterback is what you want to go with. So I had Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson yesterday that scored me a combined 9 points.
Oof.
Out, quarterbacks accidentally score 9 points, and I had 2 of them score a total of 9 points. So, needless to say, I didn't actually get completely blown out, but I also some other embarrassing issues. I picked up Sean Tucker in all these leagues, and I left him on my bench on purpose because I'm pretty deep in other areas, and yeah, it didn't go well. So we'll forget this week. We're still in prime form, except for the listener league, which just figures that's exactly how that would work. But as far as the Ravens go, back to the Ravens. Ravens defeat the Cleveland Browns 23-16, and I mean, I guess we didn't give a full prediction, Mike, because we didn't talk between now and the last time, but I would have assumed that this would have been a close game. Never in doubt. I never would have thought it would have been in doubt, but there were a couple hairy moments for me yesterday.
Yeah, they got themselves in a pickle because they decided to turn the ball over a bunch of times, and they decided to make stupid mistakes like neutral zone infractions on third or fourth down and 4, like just stupid on the kick. I don't understand how this team just decides to make stupid mistakes, and the offensive line play is suspect at best, and it's just so evident in the play calling. It feels so choppy. It feels so unnatural relative to the past 2 years, I would say. They still are effective at times, but everything feels forced. I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but like it doesn't feel like it has the same rhythm or flow that it has in the past, where one series, and I know that they talked about in this 105.7 the other day, one series works on and off of the previous series, and then there's like a reason that you're setting a play up for something later. Genius play call on that hurricane play that they twist Mark Andrews out on that fourth down play, and he scores from 35 yards out. That was awesome. Other than that, though, I really feel like the play calling was real choppy, and the Ravens should feel lucky to get out of Cleveland with the win. And like you said, Jason, those games are always close, but usually when you turn the ball over, that spells defeat for your team.
Yeah, and you know what, though? I do wonder, though, that if the situation was different, if you weren't playing Shadur Sanders at that time, who couldn't, I mean, what did they gain before that the last time they had the ball, they gained like 19 yards or something the entire second half. I don't know if they would run that play take the chance to run it against like a team that if they got the ball back, they would just march right down. And plus, forget about how great it was. How about ballsy? How about ballsy as hell? And you know what? Like I think that gets overlooked. they actually took a real chance here and just said, you know what? It wasn't like the chances that John Harbaugh takes where he goes, yeah, we're going to go for it here. No, they took a real chance because he could have very easily got tackled. If that block wasn't thrown by Ricard, then all of a sudden you're in a lot more trouble. He might have still got the first down, but that sprung the whole play. So yeah, for me, that play, outstanding call. Mike, I agree with you here, but I also wonder if this is Lamar getting restarted again. John has kind of alluded to the fact, and I'll let you talk here in a second, John, about he thinks Lamar still might be injured. I think there might be, I don't know, he might just be banged up a little bit, might have a couple ailments here and there, but something's not right. But I wonder, this offensive line is still so terrible. And let's give credit to probably the, if not the best, the second best pass rusher in the NFL on the other side. What do you have, 4 sacks? Like, I mean, Cleveland's defense is the only thing they have going for them right now. Okay. So I wouldn't, I'm not too, this is why these games like this, again, I said this a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to say it every week. I don't care what the score was. I don't care how they played, as long as they get the win. You have a week to correct, and now everything is week to week because you have to win, and you have to be 7-5 going into Pittsburgh. John, go ahead. I just gave you my whole little rant.
Absolutely. I think right now is we need to get the W, and once we get the W's, then we can deconstruct the game tape. We can go back and figure out where are we making these mistakes, what's going on. The 2 interceptions, were they Lamar's fault? The one wasn't. The one was all Keaton Mitchell, but the other one, he hit off the lineman's head and just drops that sidearm arm slot. But as I watch him and as I watch the offensive line, Lamar doesn't really seem to know what he's going to do. Like even Stanley was just getting eaten alive the whole game. And what I didn't understand was, why weren't we chipping? Why weren't we having, and a part of that's Justice Hill, who's our normal third down back, was out with a knee injury, I think. Or was it an ankle injury? I don't remember. It was out with an injury. And, that makes a little bit of a difference too when you're trying to have Derrick Henry in there on third down, or Ali or Keaton Mitchell, and having them who aren't as used to the pass protection and things as Hill is, trying to help us on things. But I think a lot of it, though, is Lamar. I still think he's a little tentative, but he also just doesn't know what's going on. Because you see, the one, Garrett went by him, he goes to the left, and his offensive line doesn't know what the heck they're doing, and he's got 3 guys in his face, and then Garrett comes back and cleans up. So they gotta, I think they gotta get a lot more quick passes, but they did have success though with the play action though. So that it kind of is a plus in the pass game, but otherwise their passing game they got to figure something else out because it ain't gonna do it in the playoffs.
Well, Steve said here what I was going to say, John, on your comment.
Yeah.
They did start to chip a little bit in the second half. They started picking up a little bit better and kind of getting a body on them, just to at least slow them down. I think Lamar's holding onto the ball too long, Mike. I think he's real concerned with dropping back pretty deep. And then by the time he comes up, again, the pocket is already beaten up, or he's stepping up, like John was saying, right into the wrong area. Something seems a little off. I'll also tell you that was what it's like to not have Rashad Bateman out there, by the way. So everyone that's not a Bateman fan, let me tell you, that man can run a route, and he's probably your best route runner, if not one of your top receivers. He was a first-round draft pick. Okay, so him and Flowers together are perfect. Hopkins, he just doesn't separate at this point. So everything's a contested ball, right? So when you don't have that, and likely was completely taken out of the picture or not even brought into it. So, Mike, I think a lack of, I thought the defense, I'm saving this because I thought the defense did great. And did it, I don't even know if it would say great. They did what they were supposed to do against a bad offensive football team. And once they slowed Junkins down, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, Mike, going back to, again, Lamar has to get rid of the ball quicker. Receivers, underwhelming. It's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I think I want to say that Lamar and maybe Todd Monken are trying their best to do what they can with this offensive line. It's like Lamar is gun shy is the word I would describe it as. Like he doesn't He doesn't feel natural back there like he has in the past couple of years. He's used to being able to step up in a clean pocket and make the throw. And now, in the NFL, whenever you hesitate, it's lost. It's not, you can't make up for the speed of the game and not be ready. And you're right, Jason. I think he's sliding up into the pocket and getting hit. And then the next time he's thinking about whether or not he should slide up into the pocket or not. Right. So it's like one play after the next leads to second guessing yourself. And not only does Lamar second guess, I think Todd's second guessing with the play calling, because we see all these things not work. So we're just kind of throwing mud at the wall and seeing what sticks, as to use an analogy that might not be great. But I know, Jason, you just mentioned the defense. I thought Kyle Hamilton was awesome again, watching him play. And his stat line was something I think they said Peter Boulware was the last guy to have the stat line he had yesterday in the game, with the passes defended and the sack and the, forced fumble, all the things he did so well. And how easy is it to sell out against the run when you're playing Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders? So let's remember that. They had no fear that they were going to get beat downfield, and they didn't really cost us till the very end when they had to make a few plays downfield. And I think Shedeur, Jason, I know you're probably not a huge Shedeur fan. I thought he played okay, considering he did not have any snaps with his team, first team unit at all. So for him to get thrust into that situation, I thought he did okay. Obviously, he's not ready, but I thought he did okay for the situation.
Yeah, it's not that I'm not. I think the Shedeur thing for me is like, if he wouldn't have. Look, the NFL guys are a lot smarter than we are, right? That's why they're doing what they're doing. He was picked in the 5th round. Don't give me the Tom Brady analogy, everyone. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Okay, everyone hits 1 in a million every once in a while, but I just don't see it. But to your point, Mike, it is correct that, like, not only does he not get reps each week, which I was on a different site earlier and I was reading what somebody wrote, and they're like, guys, it's not uncommon. There aren't any other quarterbacks don't get reps each week. We're not talking about each week. He hasn't had anything with the first team since he's been drafted. That's like, I know, Mike, your guy up there from the Bel Air area is running the team up there, but holy crap. I mean, you're not even going to give him a crumb? Like, he hasn't, so let me calm down. He has not been out with the first team guys since he's been drafted. I'll say it again in case you didn't hear it. So with that being said, John, I mean, what do you expect? And that's, to me, that's not the way to do business.
No, it's not. And they were talking about, I was reading a couple articles about, how his cadence and his voice and the way that he calls plays and the way that he does his checks at the line and the way that he, just calls the game and calls for the snap and those things are different. And the center had no clue. So it could have been Kyle Hamilton or somebody on the defense, snapping the ball, and he would have had no clue. So there was a few things that just didn't make a lot of sense to me as to why the Browns hadn't had any practice with him or given him any shot with the first team. And then you could kind of see, he didn't get a lot of time to throw the football. Or had some very good blitzes, had some very good strategies to make sure that he was uncomfortable the minute he touched the football. But also, though, he hasn't had any reps with those receivers. Those receivers don't really know, okay, does he throw you guys know the phrase heavy ball, right? Light ball. Some guys throw the ball and it feels like you're catching a ton of bricks. Other guys throw the ball and it's very easy to catch. And if they don't know how to do that, they don't know how to adjust. They don't know how to, do those sorts of things. So, he had that one good throw to the end zone in the 4th that Woozy made a very good defensive play on and knocked down. So, he had a couple plays, but I just think that the Ravens defense really stepped up and, took care of business, did what they needed to do. But I'll tell you what, the guy that I was impressed with the most on either side of the field outside of Garrett was Schlesinger. out of UCLA. That guy had 10 tackles and he was everywhere the entire game. I don't know. What did you guys think about him?
Yeah, he was probably their second best defensive player on the field, right? Important part playing in the middle there like that. For me, you can't ask for anything more when you're developing guys like that.
Yeah,
Mike?
I liked Schlesinger in the draft. He was a guy that I thought maybe the Ravens should take a look at, at the linebacker position to shore up that spot. Because remember, after Trenton Simpson's year last year, we were like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? We thought he might be the answer, and then he's not. But they did a good job finding Teddy Buchanan, who made a couple great plays again yesterday. So they did well themselves. But Schlesinger, I think, is on his way to Pro Bowl caliber linebacker. So, but that defense in Cleveland's pretty good. And I think we're forgetting to mention Derrick Henry having a pretty good day as well, over 100 yards. And was it a 59-yard rush? Is it sad that we need him to get in the end zone there? Because we know that if we get the ball inside the 10-yard line, it's almost impossible for us to score in 4 plays. That's the thing that's frustrating about this Ravens too, is their red zone offense is like 29th in the NFL. They can't score. And with the weapons they have, there's no excuse. Obviously, you have to point to the offensive line, but it is usually run, pass, and it's very predictable and not a lot going on inside the red zone. Guys, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, this is where I think that John might be up to something, whether it's a Lamar injury, too banged up, or he's just hesitant. Mike, when they're in the red zone over the last like 5, 6, 7 years, when they've been at their most dangerous, because they've been one of the best red zone teams in all of football, it's when they're able to make Lamar a threat. Because you don't know whether Lamar is going to go, if he's going to peel out and throw, if he's going to go as a running back's going to do it. Right now, he's not even on the menu. It's Andrews, it's Henry, it's throw it up to somebody else. That's where I'm at, John.
Yeah, well, and I think part of this is as a right-handed thrower, you want to roll to your right? You want to make sure that the football is in your right hand and you're able to make the throw. But with the way Rosengarten has played over there at right tackle, you roll out to the right and there's a guy in your face the minute you go out there. And it's a much more difficult pass for him rolling to his left because he's got to turn his body, square his shoulders, and get the ball out. So I think there's a combination of them not trusting Rosengarten on that right side for Lamar to roll out there, Lamar not being fully healthy, and then also, like you said, not having Bateman, who's very good at running those routes and finding those spots. But we got to get touchdowns in the red zone. And I think that's probably on offense the largest takeaway from yesterday and then kind of on the season as a whole is just we cannot convert short third downs and we cannot convert in the red zone. And we're not going to be able to – our defense isn't good enough to win games with field goals from inside the 5.
Yeah, and they will have their chance this Sunday as they take on the Jets at home in Baltimore. I believe they're at home for the next few games. But the Jets are not a good football team. They did trade off some very significant defensive pieces, and Tyrod Taylor is going to be the starting quarterback. So I have zero fear in this game. Of course, I don't know what that means. Once the spread comes out, I'm sure it'll be something crazy. It probably shouldn't be, but I'm thinking 7.5 would be reasonable. It's probably not. It's probably going to be up in like 11, 12, 13, something like that. But I don't see them, Mike, having any problem with the Jets. And then as long as everybody gets on the field, it's healthy. And that's where you work on your red zone offense. That's where you work on protecting Lamar better. The Jets do have a pass rusher or two still. So they do have to take that into account.
Yeah, the government shutdown caused a big problem with the Jets because there weren't enough planes in the air and the plane tickets kept going up. But the Ravens' problem with the Jets, I think, is just if they have a turnover issue. That's you turn the ball over against any team, you just level the playing field. That's the biggest concern in that game. Being at home, I believe we're at home, right, Jay? I think that helps the situation. And, having your fans behind you after a nice 4 or 5 game winning streak is really nice as well. And then additionally, a brand new quarterback behind center, so something else for them to worry about. And there's no Quinnen Williams to clog the middle like they had previously. So maybe it's a Derrick Henry game on Sunday. John?
Do you guys know why they call it the Dark Ages?
Because there was no
Because there were
electricity.
so many nights. Yeah.
Oh, with the K.
Now I feel every time you two go on with your crap and your dad jokes and your nonsense. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I think you're onto something that, when we're playing the Jets, we're gonna throw it at Tyrod, and he's 30, 36, I think. So he's a little bit older, not as nimble as he once was. But I see an easy, not easy. There's never an easy win in the NFL, but at least a 10-point, at least a double-digit win. And I think you get Derrick Henry out for over 100 yards, and I think Lamar will be out by the end of the third quarter.
I mean, that would be good. I think that in my eyes here, everything's good. Everything goes. I mean, part of me wonders, though, Lamar was out of practice last Wednesday with a knee thing. I really hope the Ravens don't get cute, but I guess there's a possibility that they set him thinking that they're going to win with Huntley, but I also, that makes me very nervous too. It changes too much stuff. Okay. So next we have Mike's favorite segment. Mike is going to do the rundown.
I am. I'm going to do the rundown, and I'm going to talk to everybody, Jason and John mainly, about what they think about certain topics. All right. So you guys are going to give me a quick response. John, I don't want a tall tale. I don't want a long story involving Minnesota or something about Baltimore Lutheran. I want something quick, a quick response. All right. All right. So we'll start with you, John. And Santa, you can also chime in whenever you'd like to. Beach Santa. Jason, for those listeners out there, Jason has his Beach Santa hanging out with him today like his pet. Jamar Chase versus Jalen Ramsey. There was a little altercation on Sunday where Jalen Ramsey got kicked out of the game, but we found out later on he said that Jamar Chase spit at him. Can you believe that? Well, Jamar Chase denied that he spit on him, but I think Jamar Chase forgot that there's cameras everywhere. How do you make that lie? Tell me about this situation.
I just think that, you know what, he got caught, and just like Carter did for the Eagles in the first game of the season, he got caught, and you know what, nothing gets by. And I hear running water. Does anybody else hear running
is there
water?
water running somewhere?
Yes, I have a biometric plant situation in here. You guys continue as you were.
Oh my gosh!
So I just think that was stupid on Chase's part. He loses $448,000 plus $96,000 for something else. So over $500,000, he's going to lose out. Spitting.
And did he get suspended for a game?
Yes.
See, that's a bunch of horse crap too, because Carter got thrown out of the game he was in, and the next game. I say Chase should get thrown out for 2 games. You set a precedent. So do 2 games. And don't give me this, oh, well, there was only a quarter left in the game or whatever it was. Throw him out for 2 games. You don't spit on another person. That is one of the most disrespectful things you can actually do to another person.
Jason,
Okay,
clarification. Carter did not miss another game. They counted that game as the one thrown out.
Oh, fair enough. I lied. He should still be. You still
should have 2 games. Who spits on somebody? What would you do if someone spit on you? I don't know that I would react well. I'm just saying. I would not be on my best behavior if someone spit on me in an athletic contest. I'm pretty sure.
See, but so how do you correct the Jalen Ramsey thing? Like, he was well within his right. Like, you shouldn't have thrown him out of the game. Like, but you can't. I mean, I get it. The officials are trying to keep order, trying to do all that. I get that. I don't blame the officials.
Yeah. And they can't see that. I mean,
I think Jamar Chase is a piece of crap. Actually,
there you ridiculous. Go. And I wish it would have happened the week before we played the Bengals, but we digress.
They still have Joe Flacco, by the way. But go ahead. Yeah,
they do, hon. Maryland announced. Well, the athletic director announced that they're going to bring Mike Locksley back next year, guys. So it's because it's a new Maryland football team. There, can't you feel the difference? Jason, what's going on?
Well, the recruits are okay. I mean, the recruits aren't bad. I mean, they started off the year pretty well. I get why they're not doing it. I mean, look, the Maryland program owes more money in coaches that aren't coaching there than they're paying the coaches that are there in football and in basketball. So I get why they don't want to have to fire and do that. I mean, maybe when his contract's up, but yeah, I don't know if it's a good move. Honestly, the football program isn't going anywhere fast, so probably not a big deal.
John?
I agree 100%, Jason. I think the football program is not going anywhere fast, and they're not going to spend the money to bring a James Franklin in or a Brian Kelly or any big name person like that who's going to bring 4 or 5-star recruits and turn the Maryland football team into a juggernaut. They're just not going to do it.
Well, I think the AD had to go out and say something because I think you want to try to keep those recruits. And if you don't back Mike Locksley in this situation immediately, you start to hear, and then the rumors go, and then you get more people in the portal. So I think it's just a strategic play by a pretty smart new AD.
Yeah, he's more of a business guy too, so he knows how to do that.
A little savvy there, right? So let's go into that, John. You mentioned James Franklin. It looks like he's signing on with Virginia Tech. Do you think that results in them finding a college football playoff berth within the next 2 years?
I don't think the next 2 years. I think it's going to take him probably 3 years or so. But I could see them with a playoff because they're in the ACC, right? And it's not as competitive. I mean, you have some good teams, but it's not as competitive as the teams he was playing at Penn State.
I mean, I think you also have to look at the pockets, Mike. Like, what type of money is Virginia Tech going to shell out to go get players and to bring them in? Like, are they going to do the same thing that Penn State was doing? Because if you noticed over the last couple, I mean, Franklin was in the playoffs last year. He was one of the favored teams there, and his recruiting's always been good, and he also does a good job of coaching those kids up. I think they'll have them competitive. I don't know about the playoff just because it's so subjective to what can happen. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me either way.
I mean, I think if he wouldn't sign there, if he didn't think he was going to have the support to get some recruiting, and it's so close to the DMV and areas where he's recruited well before, I think, and not even that far from Pennsylvania, to be honest, in the Midwest, honestly. So he should still be okay there. I think he can get them there in 2 years. Because again, you might bring recruits right from Penn State next year. I just think it's a very quick turnaround in this day and age when it comes to college football. All right. Better closer fit. Let's talk Orioles. If we're going to sign a closer here in free agency, which one do you like better, Edwin Diaz or Devin Williams for the Orioles in their current situation? John, let's start with you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, current situation. I'm going to start with John.
I think Diaz. Diaz has been in big games. He's been in the playoffs. He's been things. And I like to hear Tommy trumpet, too.
Oh, my God.
All right, Jay. Rebuttals.
I hate you, John. No.
For 30 years.
100% all about Devin Williams, especially with what they're trying to accomplish here. He'll be a lot cheaper. Now, there's a market for Williams, so you're going to have to win out. But he'll be a lot cheaper. He's got nowhere to go but up. Like, if you look at his expected ERA, it's like 2 points lower than what he did last year. And that's a lot of pressure in New York. Just let him be him. Here's the thing, though. I keep going back to the one thing that the Orioles have been able to do. Now, I don't say Kimbrel. I don't put him in this category because he was already to a certain point. I really think he was just a rental. They were hoping to get as much as possible out of him. This next closer will probably sign for a couple years. Whoever the Orioles identify, it's someone that they know they can work with what he has to improve them. And I believe them. I mean, look at Rogers. Look at what they got out of Morton once things got figured out. Look at Sagano. Look at Kramer. Like, these guys, they're getting every bit out of these players pitching-wise. So, yeah, I'm with them. So whoever they go with, I'm on the Williams thing because I think it'll still allow them to sign other players. Diaz, to me, it's going to be a big price tag for a guy in a position that I don't like.
Which of the following 3 5-5 teams can make the NFL playoffs? The Chiefs, the Ravens, or the Texans? 1, 2, all of them, John. Which ones do you think?
Chiefs and Ravens.
I definitely think the Ravens. The Chiefs make me nervous because of their schedule going forward, but I mean, I at least one, possibly two with the Chiefs. I don't think Houston makes the playoffs.
You don't think Houston can come back? Yeah, the Colts have a pretty big lead there. I think you have to leapfrog the Jaguars. The same thing concerns me with the Chiefs because they have 2 games behind the Chargers and 4 games behind the Broncos, basically. I think so. I mean, that's a big ask considering you don't have a window really to win the division. You got to get wild card berth. They do have some tiebreakers,
right? Well, the Chiefs beat the Chiefs beat the Ravens, but they lost to the Jaguars. So I don't know. I haven't looked at the Jaguars' schedule going forward, but they're playing good football.
It'll be interesting because of the early season matchups, how the tiebreakers work out, and how that comes down in the final few weeks of the season.
Right.
All right. We had our Shador Sanders sighting, on Sunday. Let's pretend you're Jimmy Isfording or another Cleveland Browns fan. Are you impressed or depressed after watching his performance on Sunday?
If I'm Jimmy's a Shador guy. He's on the Shador wagon, but he also thought Joe Flacco was their best quarterback on the roster, which, by the way, he might still be if he was on the roster. I think he is not unimpressed. I think he's leaning unimpressed. I don't think he's impressed by that
but he's
performance,
not depressed,
but I think he has
is
a
what
good
you're saying.
reason. No, he's depressed because he's a Cleveland Browns fan, but unimpressed because he feels the same way I do about how they gave him no reps since he became a Cleveland Brown.
I think that, with more reps and things, there's some promise there. Like he made a couple very good throws. The throw to the end zone that Awuzie made a very good defensive play on was a perfect throw, and clearly he can throw the football. So if I was a Browns fan, I think I would be encouraged by some of the things he did, but discouraged that the club didn't do anything to help him be ready for stepping into the game.
Impressed or depressed?
Impressed.
Yeah, I was impressed actually. All right. I didn't know what to expect. I thought he looked like a quarterback that just didn't have enough practice. All right, we've got one more question for you guys tonight in the old rundown. We are seeing our old boy Tyrod Taylor on Sunday. Would you rather see Tyrod Taylor or Justin Fields if you were a Ravens fan?
Tyrod Taylor, hands down. Not even a question. If you're a fantasy player, probably Fields. But I want to. If my season's up for grabs, I'll take or on the line. I'll take facing Tyrod Taylor because if he was the better quarterback, he'd been starting all year long.
I will go with Tyrod Taylor as well. The guy's 36. He's not as nimble as he once was, and he's more stuck in the pocket, I think. I worry about Fields getting outside and running. So I think Taylor is much better sighting for Ravens defense back there.
I am equally not worried, but Tyrod Taylor, I would say he's probably pretty motivated and he's wily. So you got to watch out for that. But anyway, that's all I got for the rundown, fellas. Well done.
Outstanding. Well, we already covered the Terps. That was going to be our next section. Pretty much covered the Terps with. I mean, they beat Marquette this weekend. Big win. Farrell Payne. I guess they haven't came out and announced how much time he's going to miss. That was a gruesome looking injury. I was impressed though, guys, how much that team stepped up and how much John was pooping on the Terps and their shooting. They shot well over 50% in that whole game. I mean, it was very impressive. They handled a good Marquette team, a very well coached Marquette team. Buzz Williams, I mean, I remember sitting here with you guys talking about how I was a little bummed out. That's the guy we're going to end up with. Oh boy, I'm impressed. I don't know what that means this year, if they'll make a tournament run or whatnot. But sure, Mike, he sure does get everything from those kids, every bit of energy that they got to come out there.
Yeah, he seems like he has a knack to build relationships. Like every time I'm watching these interviews or I'm watching they do the inside the locker room stuff. He's always got these like skin tight like athletic shirts on. He's like banging around with the kids. Like it's like you could tell he's like in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? He's not one of those coaches that stands along the sideline with his clipboard and barely communicates with his players. Like you could see why the players kind of are connected with him and would want to be around him. And he does get the most from his players. I have some concern, obviously, with their best player going down probably for the year, more than likely, with that hip injury. I have some concerns about their ability long-term to make the tournament and things like that. Obviously, John, they didn't shoot well the other night. They shot lights out from three-point range in the game against Marquette. I assume we'll settle somewhere in the middle. But it was a really good win, specifically after that Georgetown loss for the Terps. And, it's encouraging overall.
Yeah, and I think I didn't see the game. I just turned the highlights on. But as I was reading some of the articles, like here, that Diggy Coit, is it Coit? He played really well, 4 for 7 from beyond the arc, 19-point shot.
That was like all in the first half, by the way.
Yeah,
like almost
right. And it was tied, and it was tied. It was tied at halftime. So I think they're gonna come out okay. I think. Losing Payne is a pain, but I think that Buzz will figure out how to, work the other guys in, and they may just, have to change up a few things on how they're running their offense and how they're shooting and those sorts of things.
Yeah, I mean, Darius Adams was a 5-star recruit, a 4-star recruit, depending on what you're looking at. I think you're a couple games away, Mike, from his coming out party. I think watching him makes me it's like someone he's ready to just let loose. At some point, his whole game's going to open up and you might see what type of special player he's going to be. My question to you is, though, if Payne is either out for the year or loses significant time, who needs to step up and who do you think will step up to really fill that void for him? I have a guy. Yeah. I'm wondering if it's the same guy you're thinking.
Yeah, I honestly, Jason, I've only watched a couple minutes of Terps basketball this year. It hasn't been quite as televised as I'd hoped it would be. But other than that, like I think Adams is a great candidate, but I think Coit obviously needs to continue to score. They're going to need scoring. But if you're looking at the team as a whole, when there's a vacuum like that created by losing one of your best players, it does create an opportunity for other guys to step up. So it's kind of next man up mentality with this team. I would say we need to find out who wants the ball in their hands. Jason, it seems like Adams stepped up really big the other night. So if he's the guy who wants the ball, get him the ball.
Yeah, I actually think it's going to be – no, I mean it will be. Elijah Saunders to me is the guy that they are going to – that Buzz is going to try to lean on as much as possible. I mean, big time NCAA minutes with Virginia and big time NCAA minutes with San Diego State. Two great coaches, potential Hall of Fame coaches. So he's coming from this pedigree and these good places. Now, he struggled early, like in the first couple games early in the year, and he had a slow start in this game. Once Payne went out, he really stepped up. So I'd be curious to see him, Adams. There's also, I think they had 2 players already out in that game on Saturday too that were key guys. So once everything starts coming together and they have a full squad out there, to me it'll be interesting to see what comes about. John, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, no, I mean, Watts, it was 5 for 6 from the field, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc with 18 points, So, I mean, if you got guys, and that really helps losing a big man if you can, I know I said the other day they were terrible against Georgetown beyond the arc, which they were. But if you can knock down outside shots, you can cover up a lot of holes by not having a guy like Payne in the game. So we'll see how they can move the basketball, how they can run, how they can get out in transition, and those sorts of things. There's things you can do to cover not having the big man on the offensive side of the court.
Gotcha. And no, Steve, I'm not growing weed. Look, as you guys can see, if you see my little plant thing over there, we are doing hydroponic and growing our own vegetables and our own things here so that we don't have to buy all the crap that they sell in the grocery stores. And it's actually quite exciting and fun. So yes, no, that is not weed. So sorry about the rushing water, fellas.
Yes. So the ambient sounds of running water is part of Jason's soothing vegetable garden. Is that right, Jason?
Correct. That is correct. And not so soothing, very loud. Okay. Next, we're going to shift over to the Baltimore Orioles, hon. They have filled out their coaching staff. So just to kind of run down since we have last spoke, I guess since John's been on the show, Craig Albertaz has been hired by the Orioles as the manager. But other than that, Mike, we talked last time about Dustin Lin being the hitting coach. To me, very excited about that. Love the idea. Big nerd, big kinesiology guy that's just studied swing mechanics. So that to me was a cool ad. Since we've last talked, now have a first base coach with Jason Bourgeois. They have a bench coach from Donnie Ecker coming over from, was it Texas, I believe? And then he was the hitting coach at Texas, and then he got fired, but he was a hitting coach during the World Series run. And then the one of the newer hires, the infield coach, Miguel Cairo. I remember watching Miguel Cairo play baseball, and now he's one of the coaches. Field coordinator and catching coach, Joe Singley. And then again, Drew French, Ryan Klimek, Buck Britton, and Mitch Plasmeyer are all being retained by the Orioles. So finally, full staff. Hopefully that's something that those guys, that Albertaz can lean on, that works for him, Mike. I mean, he has a lot of relationships with a lot of those guys, which I found very interesting. Besides the guys that they retained, everyone else he brought in, he had been with at some other point.
No, I think he's done a good job of quickly putting together a staff, before all of the free agency and everything hits, so that they can kind of come together and have a game plan. I think it's just smart to go quickly, but he also seems like he's kind of gone diverse in the different areas. He's been in all these different places. He didn't just grab all these guys from one place he's been. He's kind of gotten roots in different places and felt that out. And it seems like he's picked some of his guys, but he also has seen what has worked here in Baltimore with the pitching staff and wasn't afraid to keep a couple guys on board. What that tells me is that he is confident in his own abilities. He's not worried about, the loyalty to guys who have been here versus who hasn't. He understands, like, I don't need to be the smartest guy in the room. I need to be a winner. And to do that, you have to surround yourself with really smart human beings. And I think that's an evolution of a coach. And I think it shows that he knows what he's talking about and he wants to put the best staff together. I have no clue about how good these guys are besides what I'm reading, like what you guys are reading. I'm really curious to see how it all comes together. But I do know that there's excitement that comes along with a new group of coaches and when they're building a relationship with the players. And I hope that helps to be an impetus for this Orioles team going into the 25-26 season.
John, thoughts?
Well, and I'm looking at this, and it's a lot of young guys, with Cairo being the elder. I mean, Cairo has a lot of good experience. He was under Tony La Russa in Chicago. He was under Dave Martinez with the Nationals, and he's had some managerial experience as well, with the White Sox, with the Nats and things of that like that. So he brings kind of, I think, the older school, the older steady hand in among coaches who are as young as 28. So you have a coaching staff who's young, but bringing Cairo in, I think, is going to be very good for Gunnar, going to be very good for Westberg and Holiday and the rest of the infielders. And I remember watching him play, and he's very steady hand, when he was a player. So I'm really very excited. I'm glad they kept Britton on, because from what I read and heard on the radio and things, not a bad thing to say about him, that the players like him, the other coaches like him, the staff likes him, and he kind of can hopefully kind of bring some cohesion to to that clubhouse when you're bringing in so many new faces, and like you guys said, like we're trying to get the staff together so then we can figure out, okay, which route are we going? Are we getting, Alonso? Are we getting, whoever that we need to go and get?
I mean, again, we talked about this. I really do think that's irrelevant to yeah, the staff will have some sort of decision making on what players to bring in, but overall, I mean, they're going to bring in the front office is really going to be the front of that. However, right now we're just in that rumor mill central right now where we have a lot of different things going on. Elias has made it clear that they're in the market for a closer. I don't know what that means. Hopefully, it sounds like he always does this thing where he'll say we're in the market for a guy that's a closer or had closing experience. Well, that could mean that they have him already because they just brought Kittredge back. So that could be your closer, fellas. But in theory, there's a lot of different options there. But again, not a whole lot going out there other than that. John Heyman, who I have a lot of respect for, put an article out that the Orioles are interested, will be making a run at Pete Alonso. I don't know how many legs that has to it. But I know, Mike, that's your guy. You're on board for that. I wouldn't be opposed to it necessarily. I don't know how they're going to fit all these guys in. It makes me think that somebody will get shipped off. Maybe they'll do a trade. I don't know for sure, but I would like to see him make more than one bat move. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of different possibilities. The first domino, I guess, fell in free agency with Josh Naylor signing back with Seattle. He felt comfortable there. I mean, that's not a crazy hitter's park. It's more of a pitcher's park. So I was a little surprised. But yeah, to me, that's pretty cheap because I think all the other first basemen to sign later will be a much higher dollar than that for the most part. Yeah, so this actually rolled. Do you guys have anything else you want to go on the Orioles before we go to a quick little exercise, if you will?
No, I just speaking about like what Elias said about signing somebody who has closing experience, not necessarily a closer. I just think you can't say that. Like you just can't say I'm going to go sign a closer because if they price themselves out of the market, like you can't just go spend crazy. I just don't think you should. And I think he's just being vague on purpose. I don't think it's trying to fool anybody, but I really do. And there's a lot of closing options, honestly. If you listen to Connor on Locked On Orioles, right? He talked about his closing options today. If you listen to the podcast, and he talked about, Ryan Helsley. You talked about Edwin Diaz. You talked about Pete Fairbanks, who's kind of had a little decline, but he's still a viable closer option. But there's a bunch of guys out there with a variety of different closing experience. And so I think we'll get somebody who's a high leverage guy, at least, who has maybe had some experience. What you got, Jason?
Okay, so Steve is requesting more dad jokes. So let me get my book out here. Dad Jokes 2. Why did the mortgage broker go out of business? He lost interest.
That makes sense. Well,
they're terrible.
I heard that the Orioles signed Miguel Cairo on the coaching staff. Then I thought I was in denial because Cairo is so close, and but I realized that they actually signed him. So,
see, here's the thing, Steve. I have to look up a book that tells me how to do these dad jokes. That's natural. Comes
right from here.
That is just something special. Just special. All right. Okay, quick. We're going to do this quick little exercise I have for you fellas. And
Steve already lost interest.
No, he's saying the joke lost interest, John. Oh. That's why he's laughing.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm hilarious. Actually, the book is hilarious. So, okay, this game is called, what is this game called? Free Agent Frenzy. Okay, it's not really a game. It's really just what you guys think. I'm going to put you on the spot, and you're going to have to give me a response. So I'm going to give you guys a few names here. We're not going to cover everybody, but free agents in Major League Baseball, who you think they're going to sign with. If you want to give me a quick little synopsis, fine, but I want to know who you think. And we're going to start with John. John, who do you think Josh Naylor will? I'm just kidding. Okay. So let's go to
Mariners.
Good job, Mike. Good job.
Diamondbacks.
All right, let's start with Pete Alonso. John, who do you think signing Pete Alonso? And his 5.6 WAR, by the way.
I think there's been some stuff coming out, like you guys said, about him coming to Baltimore, but I don't think so. I think he's going to stay in the AL or the NL East, and I think he's either going to sign with the Mets or the Phillies.
Oh, Mike.
I think his socks will be red.
Oh, I think this depends on what happens with Kyle Schwarber. I do, because I think the Red Sox, I think Kyle Schwarber is going to be one of the guys that the Red Sox are going hard for. I was going to say the same thing. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say he's going to the Giants. Pete Alonso will be a Giant.
He is a big person, so that makes a lot of sense.
All right, Mike, your turn. I'll give you your boy, Luis Ariz.
Oh, man. I want him to be an Oriole so bad. But I just don't see it. I just don't see them going after Luis Ariz. I'm going to go and say he is going to be a Milwaukee Brewer.
Oh, my God. Why do you take everything I'm good? I was thinking the same thing. Oh, that's terrible. John?
Luis Ariz. I think that he is going to go to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Stay in California.
He's such a. Right. Why would you want to go to such a losing team? They're such losers.
Attaboy. All right, let's do John JT Realmuto.
I think he'll just, unless the Phillies trade for Adley, which there's been some rumors about that. I think he's going to stay. I think he's going to stay there in Philly.
Who in the blue hell are the Phillies going to offer the Orioles to give up Adley Rutschman?
I don't know, but there was some rumors and things going around.
Mike, who do you think?
Oh, JT, where will you go? He started in the Marlins organization, right? And then he was a Philly. It's only two places he's been thus far.
He's 35.
He's so old. Let's say, I mean, I'm older than that, but Atlanta, maybe? I don't know. Where would he go?
Well, they have very good catcher that just won the Rookie of the Year.
Well, then not Atlanta. I just figured he'd make the tour of the NL East, so whatever.
I actually think he stays in Philadelphia. I do. They, like John cleared this up for us last couple weeks ago. They have no one behind him, so I do think he ends up staying there. Let's do. Who's a fun name we could do here? Let's do Bo Bichette, Mike. Where is Bo Bichette going?
I think he's going to re-sign with Toronto.
Oh, fancy pants. Okay, I got
it's one of those World Series, you had the chance, you want to run it back with your boys kind of feelings to me. Like, it just has that feel to me, but I might be wrong.
John?
I think that the Yankees and I think the Dodgers and the Mets are going to all make a run at him. But I think the Jays will match all the offers and he'll stay in Toronto.
I think he becomes a New York Yankee. John, new rule. You're not allowed to look up when I say the player. You have to put your hands up in the air, and you are not allowed to look up what all the experts are saying that he's going to go to. This is John's
so if you're going to say
opinion,
something stupid, say it like I did when I said that JT Realmuto should be a Brave.
Exactly. So take your hands away, sit back in your chair, and enjoy life. As we're going to Alex Bregman, John. Alex Bregman, I believe,
will. His socks will be white. No, I don't think the White Sox will spend that anymore.
Jesus.
I think he'll just be a Red Sox.
Possibly.
I think
Mike?
That's where he'll end up.
What do you think, Jason?
I don't know. I know that the Orioles have to sign one of these guys. I know they have to sign one of them. I can see Alonso. I just don't know. Dang it.
I think he's
Who's
going to be a
playing-
Philly.
It could be a Philly.
Got a Philly feel to me.
It really does. I'm gonna say that the Dodgers miss out on Tucker. The Dodgers miss out on Bichette, and they end up with Alex Bregman. That's what I think.
That's a
And Max
Dodger.
Muncy just DHs all the time. Okay, we're gonna finish this up here in a minute, but let's do some big names. Cody Bellinger, Mike.
Orioles.
Oh, do you really think he's gonna be an Oriole?
I do.
Fan-freaking-tastic, Mike.
I think
God bless you.
he fits everything they want. He's a center field, first base guy. That's where the weakness is right now.
John?
That's what I was going to say as well. If I wasn't going to say the Orioles, I think he'll end up like in San Diego.
Okay. They have some money issues out there in San Diego. I say he stays with the Yankees. That's what my gut's saying.
I can see that.
He will stay as a Yankee. Kyle Tucker. Let's do a big one. Kyle Tucker, John.
Kyle Tucker go to the Baltimore Orioles. They'll make a splash. They'll put the money on him.
Oh, my God. Now we've just lost total control.
And then we'll go to the World Series and win the World Series for Uncle Gary next year.
Oh, boy. I'm not making that bet again this year.
Mike?
Mike?
My turn. My turn
Your
to talk
turn.
about Kyle Tucker. Oh man, everybody's saying the Dodgers. I don't know. I don't know about the Dodgers. I do feel like he goes to a competitive, like one player away kind of team. I don't know. I don't know if some of the problem is with Kyle Tucker. He's going to be so expensive. So like if you're the Cleveland Indians or you're the Royals or you're the Orioles, it's like those guys are almost priced out of a Kyle Tucker. So like to me, I would say like he's going to be like a Yankee or like a Red Sox or something like that. So I'll go Yankees, Kyle Tucker.
Well, I've already given the Yankees Bo Bichette and Bellinger. And because I said the Dodgers would miss out on the others, I'm going to say the Toronto Blue Jays sign Kyle Tucker in the offseason and put themselves in a good position. Okay, we're going to do one more hitter, and then we'll do pitchers next time. But right now, we're going to do Kyle Schwarber. And I'll lead off so you guys have a second. We didn't do Kyle Schwarber yet, right? Okay. Oh boy. I think that my gut's saying something about the Red Sox, but I'm going to say the Phillies end up signing him back. I don't think he goes anywhere. Mike?
Yeah, I think he resigns in Philadelphia. I just can't see they would be so dumb to let him walk. He means more to them because they know what he adds.
I'd agree. John?
Yeah, I think he's going to stay in Philly. I think they got to sign both those guys. They got to sign Real Muto and Tucker too. I think they got Schwarber. Sorry, Schwarber. They got to sign and keep them both there.
You know, those contracts aren't going to be crazy. I mean, Realmuto has to be realistic. He's 35 years old. Schwarber, I mean, it's not going to break. I don't think you're going over much more over 150 for him or something along
shorter
those
term
lines.
and more money. Maybe you could go 3 years and something crazy, but I don't think you're going long term crazy.
Well, my point with that all is like, I mean, I don't think they're going to sign Bader back. I don't see him getting all three, but they might make a splash somewhere else too. So I expect them to be very active. Harper's getting a little older here and there and blah, blah, blah. Okay, that'll be it for that category. Our last category of the evening, hosted by John, we are going to do ballpark figures, and God help us all.
Okay, so I have a good one here.
Of course you do.
Schools with number 1 picks in the NFL and NBA drafts.
Okay.
There's 10 schools, according to NFL.com, who have had a player drafted first overall in the NFL and the NBA draft in the modern era. There's a lot more. There's other ones from eons ago. but in the modern era, like 1960 and sooner.
Okay, Mike, I would say Ohio State for sure. They had that big, tall Odom guy, and then they had a bunch of football players.
Yes, Ohio State has Orlando Pace, Dan Wilkinson, and Tom Cassinow. I don't know how to pronounce his name, and then Greg Oden. So yes, Ohio State is one.
Okay, Mike, what about UNC? Didn't have any.
Thinking about football, I know
Julius Peppers was he wasn't number one pick.
He wasn't. I don't think he was number one. Texas, maybe. I'm trying to think of.
Who would Texas have had? Let's see. Well, UCLA maybe.
UCLA is good at both of those. They were
Kareem
good.
or Bill Walton. I'm thinking.
Yes.
And then how about
I will say yes to UCLA. Troy
Yeah.
Aikman in '89, and then Lou Alcindor and Bill. Or I don't know if he was Kareem yet, but Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and then Bill Walton.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm trying to think. Let's see. Let's
go
through.
1, 2.
What about Michigan? No.
Where did Weber go in the draft? Like 5? I don't know.
Yeah. What about Tennessee? Tennessee
had Peyton Manning.
Yeah, but not basketball.
Chris Webber went first overall in 1993.
Did he? So Weber went first. So that's an NBA. So it was NBA and
Ryan
NFL.
Leaf went. Did Ryan Leaf go above Peyton or behind? He went behind Peyton. It was.
I think it was
2,
Peyton,
right?
then Ryan, right?
Right.
So
Woodson
Michigan. Do we have any Michigan football guys?
That's what I'm thinking. Oh, not Leaf. I was thinking somebody else. It was Rob Woodson or
Charles Woodson.
Charles Woodson wasn't a number 1 pick.
No, it was a first round pick.
So there's 2 Big Ten schools. I'll just tell you this: 2 Big Ten schools, 2 SEC schools, an ACC school, an independent, and Big 12 school.
Notre Dame?
And then not the Pac-12. Yeah, they were Pac-12. And the one had it in the same year.
From what
same year? Oh. That's impressive.
2005.
2005.
USC? No.
Michigan State. No.
Yes, Michigan State is one. Michigan State had Bubba Smith in 1967 to the Baltimore Colts, and then Irvin Magic Johnson to the Los Angeles Lakers in '79.
And there's still another Big Ten school in there?
Yes.
Michigan, Mike, and who else?
Wisconsin?
Who else plays in Big Ten?
I don't know.
I can't. Frank. Yeah.
Indiana has good basketball. Do they have a football number 1 though?
You've said the school multiple times.
Michigan.
Yes. Jake Long, 2008 to the Miami Dolphins, and then Chris Webber in '93 to the Orlando Magic.
Okay, let's think ACC now.
There's only one.
I don't think Florida State had any.
So Florida State basketball, football was okay, but I don't think they have a basketball number 1.
I mean, didn't they have Jameis Winston go number 1 overall?
Yeah, I think they have a football number 1.
I can't think of any
basketball number 1.
So what else is in there?
NC State? Did they have any football number 1s?
A defensive end from the ACC went to the Houston Texans 2006.
Mario was it Mario Williams?
Mario Williams. That was NC State, right?
Yeah.
So
yes, NC State. NC State is another one. Mario Williams 06 to the Texans. David Thompson 75 to the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So you have an independent, you have a Big 12,
Are there any other
and
independents, Mike,
an
besides
SEC,
Notre Dame?
an SEC, and two
Is the-
SEC and two SEC schools.
Is the Big 12 school still in the Big 12?
I believe. Are they in the SEC now?
That's why I'm
Maybe
asking.
I think
Oklahoma and Texas are in the SEC now.
yes, SEC. So you have three SEC schools. Sorry, three SEC schools.
And A&M is in the SEC also.
Mm-hmm.
So
you have an independent, three SEC, and then a Pac-12.
Okay, is it independent Notre Dame?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Walt Patulski, 72 to the Bills, and Austin Carr, 71 to the Cavs.
Well, Texas
boy.
wasn't Vince Young number one? Or
Yes, but-
he was Titans. Sorry, right? Was he from Texas though? He was Texas. And then did they have was it Ford? No, TJ Ford go number one.
So there's the one school is not one you would think of for football, but they had a number one overall pick.
Is it Kentucky?
The SEC.
Oh, the SEC school.
Mm-hmm. One of the SEC schools. You wouldn't think as a football school.
Would it be Kentucky, Mike?
They
have
are
one guy?
plenty of basketball players that are very good. Let's see.
Who else is in the
football-wise.
SEC?
Will Levis. Well, he's
No.
number one.
Will Levis.
He was up in the okay, hold on.
Kentucky.
What other SEC schools are there?
Tennessee,
There's
Kentucky,
Alabama.
Alabama, Georgia,
Alabama, Georgia.
Ole Miss. Is it Eli?
Is it Georgia? Am I missing somebody that went to Georgia?
LSU, Shaq.
Oh. Well, LSU had that one year, that one run, but I don't think they made
Maybe
it.
LSU, Jason. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll let
You
you
guys
get
have
the
said all of them.
I don't
You guys
know.
have said all of them.
We said all
We
the
said a lot
SEC
of-
schools. I know
We just
have,
said a
yeah.
lot of things, John.
No,
We
you
a
said
lot
all
of
the
things.
SEC schools that are on this list.
All right.
How many are on the list?
Two SEC schools left and a Pac-12 school.
And what did you say it wasn't known for football? Let's go with Kentucky.
Yes. Tim Couch, 1999 to the Browns, and then Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, and John Wall were their basketball players.
Okay, so what else? How many more do we need here? We
One
haven't got any
SEC
wrong yet.
and one Pac-12.
What is it?
The SEC and a Pac-12. You said the SEC school. It's a three-letter school.
Oh,
LSU.
LSU.
Yes. Jamarcus Russell, 07 to the Raiders, and Shaq in 92 to the Magic. You got one school left, and the one guy's an Australian, and the other guy has bounced around a little bit in the NFL.
You said it was in the Pac-12?
Yes. Now they're in the Pac-12, not when these guys played there.
Oh, that's dumb. Who's in
Oh,
the
wait,
Pac-12
they're
now?
in the Pac-12 now, but they weren't then, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Who
I think they were in the
Where were
Mountain
they?
West. I think they were in the Mountain West at that point.
It's not
Utah.
BYU,
It's
is
Utah.
it?
It's Utah.
Yes, Utah.
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith
yeah,
and
Alex
Andrew
Smith
Bogut.
and
Andrew Bogut, yeah.
Very good, guys.
Well, fan-freaking-tastic.
That was very good.
We tried our best.
All right.
I figured that was either going to be really easy or really hard. I didn't think there was going to be like a middle ground there.
Oh, outstanding. All right. Well, John, good job. We appreciate it. And with that, made us think a little bit. But our time is about up today. So, as always, we appreciate y'all listening to us. As painful as that can be, I know, with the dad jokes.
And the sound of running water and all the things that we bring to the table.
It's outstanding. There are no children involved tonight, though. There's no
John
children.
is playing with the sound system.
All right. So we will try to get with you guys later this week. If not, let's go Ravens. We'll give you any updates. If there's anything done in baseball, if there's any major announcements, we'll try to get on here. Even if it's just one of us, we'll try to do something for you. But as always, for John Lanscraner, Mike Frisky, I'm Jason Weisbecker, and you guys have a great evening.
Don't forget to subscribe to Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports on Red Circle, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you get your free podcasts. And while you're at it, leave us a review. It really helps us out. We're trying to spread the good word about Baltimore sports far and wide. Follow us on social media for more behind-the-scenes actions, memes, and bad sports takes. You can find us at Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports on Instagram, and Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports on our Facebook page. Until next time, keep rocking those dad bods, eating those crab cakes, and never miss the game.